Hi there. So today the topic is, what about when your partner intentionally won't discuss things as a control tactic? This is Shauna White, Heartfelt Intimacy Coach, and I'm just going to uh, share this into my group. So hang on a second. Tech, extra tech things. Just give me 1 minute. Great. Okay. Okay, here we go. So when your partner intentionally won't discuss things as a control tactic, because your partner's like, well, if I just don't talk about it, then I'll get away with it. Okay, so I do my best to work with couples that are working together, but sometimes there's a situation where someone is acting out a control dynamic, and they're doing it intentionally, and they're doing it because they figured out that's how they can get what they want. So this is an actual question that comes from someone in my flock, and I normally read people's questions, but I didn't want to read hers because she shares, I think, personally identifying information close enough. I didn't want to reveal certain specifics about her situation, but the general gist of what's going on is that when there's a disagreement, it's not discussed, and her partner kind of acts in a passive aggressive way, and she would love to talk about things, but because talking about things is not really what he wants to do, she is also moving in passive aggressive ways to try to counter what he's doing. Not that she wants to be passive aggressive. She's really would like to have an open communication and really resolve things. But she's a little stuck because what does she do? Because her partner won't talk about things, and she really, really loves this man, and at the same time, because of the unresolved issues in their relationship, she's feeling like, do I really want to be she's not, well, she wants to be close to him, but she's feeling not feeling. She's not feeling it. Intimacy is like the the most precious mood, and anything can undermine it. In other words, like if we don't have enough energy, physical energy, or if we're working really hard, or if we're just really focused on work, this lovely energy of connection um, goes by the wayside, right? So we do have to make conscious room for it. But in this case, what's happening is that there are underlying issues that are not being discussed. This is actually probably the most common reason that intimacy goes by the wayside. And she's just not feeling like she can get the juices rolling with her partner, even though she loves him dearly and she wants to. So she feels a little stuck. Like, what do I do here? Because I'm trying to not be controlling. So I don't want to push him to talk about things because he doesn't want to talk about things. But at the same time, not talking about things leaves me feeling like I don't even know where I'm at in this relationship. And uh, he wants to connect, he wants to cuddle, he wants to feel the warmth, and I want to feel the warmth too. But all this stuff under the surface is really messing with my ability to feel open and connected with him. And yet I want to, and so if she does anyway, then she feels a little bit like she's betraying herself, and that makes total sense. So what do you do? Oh, and the other thing I want to say is that she's shared that she's observed This behavior, his intentionally not doing something and not talking about it, he did that with somebody else. So she got to see it. You know, when someone's interacting with us, it's like they're facing us and we only get to see the face that they present to us. But when they do something with somebody else, we get to see them from the side. So we get to see them in action. And that gives a whole other depth and breadth of information. So she got to see him act out this not doing it anyway and not talking about it with somebody else in a completely different arena of life. And she was like, oh man, he really is intentionally not talking about it so he can get away with it, because he actually said things that clarified that that's exactly what he was doing and doing it on purpose. So her question is, what do I do in this situation? So here's where, you know, if you've been following me, you know that I often talk about needs as something that is an expression of control. Like if we're saying, I need this from my partner, then we might be getting poor results because we're actually communicating an energy of control. But there are some honest needs that are not about control. Well, you know, it's really about how we act them out. So she has a need for intimacy, clear communication that allows intimacy to flow in her relationship. Everyone has this need. This is an important need. But if she were to go to her partner and say, I need to talk about this because I need you to be this, that, and the other thing. That is a controlling implementation around an honest need, and not the approach that I would recommend. But it is completely unreasonable to say that she should just live with the situation, because that requires her to go to doormat mode, and doormat mode is not healthy. I have spent years and years and years in doormat mode. I'm very familiar with it. It is not healthy. So, so here's where this rather harsh phrase comes into play. That's a really important phrase. And it goes like this. If we can't, fill in the blank, there's the door. And this is sounds kind of extreme, right? Because she really wants to be in this relationship. She really loves this man. But there's a power and there's a rebalancing effect to knowing what is okay with you, what you really want in relationship, what you really need to be in a healthy relationship, and to be willing to walk away if the relationship is not healthy. Now, I am not saying that she should end that relationship and leave that man. What I'm saying is that she needs to let him know that this is not working for her, and that if that's the way he wants to go about relationship, then she cannot create a relationship with him, because the relationship that she needs and wants requires open, honest communication to bring each situation to full resolution. And he thinks that he's getting away with not talking about things with her. And he needs to know, he needs to be given a notice, like, you know, a headline in a newspaper, whatever. He needs the information. He doesn't have the information in his mind right now that he could lose this relationship by this behavior. So he needs that information so that he can make an informed decision about whether he still wants to behave that way, or whether he would like to try something else so that he can actually keep this relationship. Does this relationship matter to him enough to change his behavior, or does he want to continue to get away with it? If he wants to continue to just not talk about things and do things the way he wants to do them and not actually really talk it through with her and bring it to a place where they both agree and they both can feel love again together in a place of understanding. If he doesn't want to do that, then that's really good information for her. She should know that he doesn't want to do that. But right now, he can't tell her that because she hasn't told him that. Well, I think she hasn't told him. Anyway, my recommendation is to let him know that that she wants to be in a relationship where people talk things through, both partners talk things through to resolve them completely. And if he doesn't want to do that, then she's going to leave. And she's got to be willing to do that. I mean, she's got to sit with herself and say, okay, if this relationship continues this way, do I want it? She got to get real with herself, because if she's willing to stay in the relationship the way it is, if part of her is like, I'm so attached to him, I've got to stay with him, even though he acts this way, I love him anyway, and I want to be with him. She's not going to be able to renegotiate this the way that, with any degree of power, because he's going to feel her energetically. He's going to call her bluff, because this is a coping mechanism for him that he's been doing for a long time, and he likes it. He's fine with it. But he might not be fine with it if he finds out he's going to lose the love of his life. But that's got to be an honest conviction for her. So she's really got to sit with weighing, okay, if this is the way he is, do I want this relationship anyway? And if she can honestly say, you know what, I love myself enough, I don't want to be in this situation if I can't heal it. If he cannot help us come to a place where we have healthy communication, then I am going to leave this relationship. If that's her honest answer inside herself, and she shares that with him, he's going to feel that energy. And then he's going to realize that he could lose this if he doesn't make a change. So those are called deal breaker needs. And it's not about controlling him. It's about her making the right choice for herself, for her health and well-being. And we have a native right to do that as children of love. We have a native calling, in fact, to choose that which allows us to be in a reality that is described by the nature of love. And the nature of love is to be open, to be free from control and manipulation. Now, he is acting out control and manipulation by not talking about things in order to get away with things. So that's not something that the divine in us asks us to live with. That's not something that's why to give ourselves to that, to allow that, creates doormat mode. Love does not ask us to be a doormat. Love wants us to blossom in beautiful, healing, healthy patterns well, I'm feeling the energy of love on the inside expressing outwardly in a natural flow. That's how we naturally function when we're connected inside. What he's doing is a survival skill, survival tactic that has nothing to do with connection inside, and that has an energetic signature. So she's currently living with an energetic signature that's a fear-based, controlling, manipulative energetic signature coming from him. And she's trying to figure out how to be in a loving space with it. But you cannot actually be in a loving space ingesting and digesting a survival fear-based energetic tactic like that. Sorry if there was a sound, background sound. Anyway, so the only way that love actually asks us to, or guides us to be with a fear-based survival energy like that controlling manipulation that he's doing, is to call it out. Because we can't take it into our being and be well. It's not a well energy signature. It's not a part of well-being. So we either call it out or we leave it alone. And so that is the opportunity that she has to realize through her own self-love what she is actually willing to put up with, and to come to grips with, I don't want to live this way. And if this is what it means to live with this guy, I'm not going to live with this guy. And then to let him know that that is the crossroads that he's standing at because of this behavior, in a loving manner. She doesn't have to try to control him. Just let him know what's going on, and let it be honest and real. And then see what happens. She's going to find out who he is a little bit deeper by giving him that information to be at a crossroads where he could choose growth, or he could choose to stick with his coping mechanisms. So that is my advice to her and to anyone in a similar situation. I think it's fun and helpful to speak directly to situations that people are facing in their relationship. So if you have a situation in your relationship that you are not sure what to deal with, how to deal with, then let me know. I'd be happy to do a video speaking to it. And if you want privacy describing the situation, then you can send it to me in a direct message, or you're welcome to, if you're not in my group, join my group, post it in my group. I do this for a lot of people, but I particularly do it for my group members. So if you want to join my flock, I'll put the link down in the comments. All right, that's it for now. Have a great day.